Oh, yeah. This is the manly man, Randy Brutal, talking at ya. When I'm on the road, I pass the time between matches, snapping to Slim Jims, and listening to the Sean Geek podcast, which I download off of SeanMcGinity.ca. That's the Sean Geek podcast, downloaded off of SeanMcGinity.ca, brother. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Sean Geek Podcast with your host, Seanorama and
FastFret Fingers.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
Good. And yourself?
I am very good.
Good.
So this is the penultimate episode 300.
300. That's quite the feat.
Quite the feat. It's 2 feet, actually.
2 feet.
2 feet. So for this one, we had talked about having someone special for this episode, and we went through the list of previous guests. And I think the most requested one was the person we have here tonight. Do you want to introduce yourself, lady?
I am Eileen. I am Todd and Sean's mom.
Welcome aboard, Mom. Thanks for coming back.
Yes.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here, I hope.
Well, I don't know. You tell me.
We shall see.
So the last time you were on the show, I don't know if you remember or not, but it was a lot of fun. We get to talk about your past in the music business and all that kind of stuff. And then you and I talked about what we could talk about if you came back again.
Right.
We came up with maybe talking about the big grand adventure you and Dad had when you left the country.
Yes. Well, no, but we left the province first. It started when we left Shediac, New Brunswick.
Yeah. Do you want to start there?
Yeah, we could, because that's when our life changed.
Yeah.
CN was closing down, and Dad applied for a transfer to Winnipeg in 1987.
Oh, you remember. So
Yeah.
we were, so for the loyal listeners that may or may not remember, we're all from New Brunswick, from a little town called Shediac.
Resort town.
Right off the 4-lane highway.
Yeah.
Better known as the Bermuda Triangle, because that's where everyone would break down and come to the house.
Yes, so I remember that. And the dog used to hide underneath the blanket. She was supposed to be a watchdog.
Yeah.
While we
Oh yeah.
True maritime form.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we moved here in 87 then, and that, I guess that set a lot of wheels in motion for everything that happened to all of us after that.
We had to wait. Dad moved in 86, and we had to wait till Todd graduated, I guess.
Yeah.
And then, yeah. And then
Well, I graduated in 86. And then I went back for more courses in 87.
That's right.
And then, and then shortly after graduation, we packed up and moved.
We moved on our anniversary on the 4th of July.
Are you really?
Yeah. That's why I remember.
Ah.
Yeah.
So I didn't remember it was the 4th.
Yeah, I remember it. And then from there, we were there 1 year, and we moved to Montreal. Guess when? The 4th of July.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that well. Oh, by the way, when you come back from your trip from Boeing, we'll be in Montreal. So you better find a place to live.
Oh
Right.
my God.
So cousin Mike, I think, was here. So he actually helped me look for a
Uncle
sublet,
Mike?
actually.
Uncle Mike?
No,
Cousin Mike.
Cousin Mike, yeah.
Cousin Mike.
Yeah, I believe
Wow.
he came with me. Yeah.
Yeah, we were saying that when usually the kids leave the nest first, but we kind of left the nest. And that's like when Dad and I were in the music industry, we'd be up on stage and you guys were watching us instead of the other way around.
Right. Yeah.
You guys did everything backwards.
We did everything backwards.
We had to tell you guys to go to bed.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh gosh.
That was Abby just saying bye.
Oh,
Wow. Sylvie just made a bunch of kids clothing for their dolls, so
nice.
she was just organizing them all. She's just like her mother. She's organizing everything.
Yes.
Anyway, sorry, go on.
No, so then I don't know, we were in Montreal and then you joined us there after because you were going to go to Concordia University.
Yeah, I was still in high school, still graduating.
Yeah. And you stayed with Uncle Dave and Aunt Rhea.
Yep.
For that time. We came back for your graduation and then you joined us there later.
So we left. So let's recap here. So we left New Brunswick and you guys were delayed leaving because Todd was graduating.
Right.
And then you guys moved to Montreal because I was graduating.
A year later.
I have to say the first year that we were here, you were 15 and you hated that move.
Oh, yeah.
And they had a block party on the street and you sat there. I have pictures to prove it. You sat there and you said, I hate you for moving me here.
Is that the block party where Ted and I and we kind of left the block party and you guys were all worried because one of his shoes was in the driveway?
Yes.
Is that the one where Tina Turner was singing too? Was that the same year?
Might have been.
Someone was dressed up as Tina Turner, I think.
Yeah, it was quite the block party. It was fun.
It was the last one because they stopped them after that one because of all
the drama.
All the drama.
Yes, and then
well, I don't hate you, Mom.
No, I know you didn't.
I was just upset.
I knew you would get over it.
Yeah. Yeah, it took a while.
At 15, it's hard when you're leaving your friends.
Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But everything turned out good for all of us, I think, in the end. I think it was courageous for Dad to do that move.
Yeah.
Like to uproot us all and he probably knew it was going to be hard on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But he did it anyway because like we had to. It was, Well,
the CN was closing down and he could have been without a job. So
yeah, it was either no job or move to Winnipeg.
Yeah, like what do you do? And we just looked at it that well, it's a new adventure. Let's do it. I was not anxious about it, but anxious to go.
Well,
looking forward to it.
Well, you and Dad used to go for walks all the time, and you guys would always discuss about, getting out of there,
yeah,
and starting something new. So that was the perfect opportunity.
Well, he was bored with the life, the way it was going. He wanted to do more. He wanted to be more.
Right.
He had aspirations, and he wanted to see them, and he had lots of ideas. And we would walk for an hour and talk about all that all the time.
Like, you mean work ideas, Mom?
Well, I guess he just didn't want to be I don't know, like just go to work every day, do the same thing. He wasn't happy.
He didn't want to settle.
He didn't want to settle. That's exactly it, Todd.
Yeah.
He knew that he could do better.
Yeah.
And he strived for it.
And he was already moving. He'd already, was working out here and stuff. So he knew what the opportunities were. And
yes,
I'm sure he compared there to here and was like, okay, well, yeah, let's move out here.
I think the way of life, like when we moved here, it was day and night. Like when you grow up in that environment, well, you and Dad lived there longer than we did.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to say anything bad about back home, but it was just, your options were really, really, really limited. And it would have been limited for me and Todd too, I think.
Yeah.
So
At that time, things have changed over the years. Like it's a whole different place.
true.
Oh my gosh,
And-
yeah, it's the place to be now.
Yeah, like a place to retire. That I wouldn't mind going back east.
Sure. Yeah.
No, it's a
Yeah.
nice place to live, and a lot of people are moving there because they're discovering that, you know, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous town, you know.
Yeah, we go there and then you come to the concrete jungle and then you look back, and especially in the fall time when all the leaves and everything
Yeah.
and the ocean and the view, and it's just it's different. And then when you see it again, it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. But at the time, it was a career move, and it was a good one. And from there on, I guess you can say that Dad spread his wings, and he was able to do whatever he, you know, all of his ideas that he had working as he went with every job. More and more, he was discovering that, wow, you know, I want to do this, and he even had when we were in Montreal, I guess when computers and that were software and all that was coming out, he had
It was
created software.
Well, yeah, it was Lotus 123, which is the old, I think the old version of Excel, which people weren't really using it back then, but Dad was smart enough to learn it, figure it out, and
Yeah.
run with it. Like,
It is one that they could use, and they used it all the time. It was great.
insane.
And then, well, you moved in with us, and that was good. And Mike moved in with us for a while. He was going to McGill.
Cousin Mike again.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that was nice. And for that time that we were there, and then I don't think we were in place much longer than 2 years. And then I guess we moved back here, and he got another job over here, and from there he was getting itchy feet. He said, okay, like, he wanted to venture out a little bit more, so he looked at all these places to go to. One was Bangladesh. Heaven forbid, I did not want to go.
Okay, this is stuff I don't know.
No, never heard of that one.
No, there was lots of there was things out there that you could apply for, and one place was Bangladesh. We knew of somebody who did go, and they got really sick. So no. So there were 2 or 3 different places he came up with, and then he came up with Argentina.
So this is all CN though, right, Mom?
No.
Well, it was Canac, and it was they were loaning Dad out
Oh,
To Canac.
okay.
to Canac
Okay, gotcha.
for it was supposed to be a 3 to 5 year project, or 2 to 5 year project, and there were 3 other couples that were chosen, and Dad was chosen. And
How hard, Mom? How hard was that? Like, was there a lot of people applying for this, and Dad was like kind of jockeying for position? Like, how hard was it to get that contract?
Oh, well, he had to prove himself. He had to go for an interview.
Mhm.
And because what they were doing was that they were going into a short line
Railway.
and they needed 4 different people that came from different work areas in their line of work with CN. And there was one couple from Calgary, one was from Toronto. I think there was one from Edmonton.
So this was
And,
they were recruiting across Canada for these, what you
Yeah.
said, 4 positions.
Yeah, and yeah.
Wow.
we were-
So he edged
we were-
out. Wow, he had to like really work hard to be one of those 4. If that's across Canada,
excited.
that's
he was
nuts.
excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, he knew the locomotive inside out.
Oh
Like
gosh.
he worked. I mean, he was in there. He wasn't just like when he was supervisor. He'd get in there with roll up his sleeves. He wasn't one of those passive type of supervisors that just kind of stood by and watched them do it type of
Oh,
thing. He
God,
went
no.
in and actually showed him what to do. So
Oh yeah.
because he started from the
went-
ground up. So
Yeah.
Oh, sure he did. And that's why he was very confident and competent to do the job. And the other three, they were all engineers. Dad wasn't an engineer, but they called him an engineer. And I have to,
Ingeniero? How do you say that, Mom?
Without the ring.
Yeah.
Ingeniero
Ingeniero.
is what they called it. So they, you know, he didn't have the little ring on his finger, but I have to say that I think that he did them proud. Like he could have very well been an engineer, because he like he knew the ins and outs of the railway business, the locomotives, and in the office work. And he was very liked by the boss lady, La Madame, they called her, the one that owned the railway, owned the short line railroad. And they even named 2 engines after Dad. Brian 1 locomotive and Brian 2. And Brian 3 was being done when we left.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think I've got video. I think I've got some video of a lot of the stuff when you guys were out in Argentina, and this was his work stuff actually.
Yeah.
And he was
the
talking.
video that Dad took, you mean, Todd?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it or not. I think I've got a copy here if you want to see it.
I want to see this.
I'm sure you do, Todd, because you save every memorabilia there is.
It's good.
Unlike
And
Pape,
it's a good thing.
Pape everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
But
new
I was talking to Liliana yesterday, who she was our interpreter.
Hello, Liliana. I don't know if you listen, but if you
Yes,
are,
hello.
hello.
It's been a
Right.
while.
So anyway, I texted her and I said, did I dream this? Or I said, did they have a bridge named after Brian? And she said, yeah, it's called the Brian Bridge.
What?
Yeah.
There's a Brian Bridge?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
So I guess
man.
he did impress a few people, and I'm
We
proud
we
of it.
never heard any of this stuff. This was all, this kind of like
Well,
your life back there. It was like everything was kind of contained. We never really knew what
It was
what
like
he
a
was up
bubble.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, what was going
Well,
on.
I didn't know about the bridge until Dad passed away, because she told me that one day, and she said, I don't know why we were reminiscing or something about memories of being in Buenos Aires, and how we missed them, or how I missed them and that. And anyway, she did mention it. She said that they had a bridge named after him. I said, what? Because Dad didn't even know.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Like posthumous sort of thing. Like, okay, Dad left the country. So what sort of adventures did you guys have down there? Like stuff maybe we don't know.
Well, the house was different. So maybe explain how the housing is, like where you're cooking and where you're living and how that all came about.
Well, we lived in, my gosh, at first we lived in the hotel in Buenos Aires, because we were there 6 months before we moved to Olavarria, which is like 4.5 hours away, more into a little town, which is really, really nice. And so we lived in a nice apartment. But it was more like, I don't know, marble floors is what they had for a garage. Doesn't even make sense. The garage was marble floors, yeah. But they didn't really use it as a garage, but it was a garage.
That sounds very Portugal-like, actually.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think they have the same kind of living, like the houses and that are pretty well the same with their marble and their tile.
So were they using marble? Like, did they have marble walls and marble, I don't know, 2x4s or whatever you want to call them? Like, did they build with marble? Because in Portugal, they do, because it keeps the house cool. It's, if you use wood, it holds the heat too much, but concrete or marble or those types of things, I think, I could be totally talking to my rear end here, but I think it's better for, it doesn't keep the heat. So in the summertime, you're not dying.
No, it was very cool in the summer. like the way that the houses were built. But yeah, when you looked on the outside of the houses, and it looked really plain Jane and kind of like not stucco. We have stucco here, but they had a certain type of, I don't even remember what they had. But then in the afternoon when it got hot, they had these humongous blinds, wooden blind type of thing that you close the whole patio door. All the windows, the patio doors where you brought these blinds down and it kept the heat out.
Okay.
Because they always had a siesta, you know, in the afternoon. Nobody worked in the afternoon. They took that time that it was so hot to that time of rest.
I could use a siesta every day.
What's that?
I could use a siesta every day.
I did. But yeah, so while the guys and while it was the best 3 years, we were there 3 years. It was the best 3 years of my life, as far as like being in a kind of a resort, because we were in the pool every day while the guys were working. So we were spoiled. One of the ladies. And when the guys came home for lunch, I remember they would hand us some grapes while we were floating in the pool. That was really awesome. You know, kiss us goodbye, have a great day. Yeah, it was fun.
What was the pace of life like there?
Very people were more relaxed. What a difference with people here. People there were relaxed. They were very humble people, very loving people. I loved that they greeted you with a kiss on each cheek, you know, to say hello. And they were just so humble. It was just very nice to see and very nice to be around that type of people. For like, it's just different from where we were here.
Would it safe to say? Sorry. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Dad.
No, I was just going to say, for eating and stuff, barbecuing and whatnot, like what type of meals would you make there? Because I think the setup was a little different than in North America.
Well, their barbecues was, they had these sticks. And how do I say? It'd be like a stake in the ground, with like it was made like a cross, and then they would have it. I'm trying to remember. It was almost like shaped tent-like with the fire inside, and then the way they had the meat up on these stakes, and it would be cooking over the fire, and it was just out of this world. And even in the restaurant, this is like, I'm talking about out on the in a barbecue outside or whatever, at the I'm trying to think of, you know, we're out in the country. I've lost a lot of my Spanish, but anyway, in the restaurant they would have those kind of things, and you saw the meat, you know, being cooked over this fire, and then they'd slice off the meat, put it, you know, bring it on a platter, serve it. It was just out of this world. And don't even ask me about how it tasted. I've never had meat taste so good in my whole life. The steaks were, you could cut it with a fork. You didn't even need a knife. It was just phenomenal. And then they had barbecues in a special house outside of the house, and it was just for barbecues. They had a table set up, and then they had I think they called it a parrilla. Anyway, and then it was a big barbecue pit, and then they put all kinds of things, like you had chicken, you had pork, you had rabbit, you had whatever.
And this is like for everyone, like around, like where you lived. So this is where you lived. So there was a central barbecue area for the residents.
No, that was just for us. That was just for us. Yeah, it was just us that we would be cooking on this, and it's called I'm trying to think of the name of it's not a hut, it was really a nice building built just to do barbecues. And this is where everybody gathered in these places. Everybody pretty much had one. And this is where they did it. And they would do a whole pig, and they would have that on a spit, or not on a spit. Actually, it was right on the fire.
Grill cotas?
Pardon me?
Grill cotas? I don't know. I'm looking it up on Google here.
Oh, okay.
Grill. Oh my God. Grill cotas.
Well, that would be, it's that the Spanish name for it?
Well, it's Spanish. It's not South American.
Okay. No, because that's a kind of a
Grill cota. I don't know. Anyway, whatever. It's probably not right.
I can't think of any of the words right now. I'm just totally blank. But yeah, it was and their little sandwiches on Sundays. We would walk to the little bakery, and we would get their little sandwiches that were out of this world, and it was sliced eggs, and then they had almost like sweet peppers on it, and they had a special type of mayo. I have no idea what kind it was. And the bread was thin, thin, thin. And it was all cut nicely, put in a fancy little boxes, wrapped up just like a gift. And you went home. We would go home on Sunday, and we'd sit out on the balcony, put our feet up on the balcony, and eat these sandwiches, and just said, this is the life. It was so good.
Overlooking the pool.
Overlooking
the pool. Did you guys have a pool?
Yes.
Because I've seen pictures with the pool, but I didn't know if that was your pool.
Well, the pool that we were always into was not our pool. It was at our friends, Wayne and Shirley. And one we had in the back was okay. It was okay, but we didn't use it that much. We had a great lemon tree, in back of it. We would
cool.
pick the lemons off. But I would always be over at Shirley's, so we just used her pool. And we would clean it. Her and I would just be with the netting, just whatever. And then Liliana would come over, and sometimes we had our studies with her. She would come.
Can you explain who Liliana was? I mean, we all know, but maybe explain who Liliana was.
Well, Liliana was, when we first moved there, we had Mirta in Buenos Aires. She was our interpreter, and she worked with Dad. And then when we moved, and then Liliana also was in Buenos Aires. And then when we moved to Olavarria, then Liliana moved there also to work with Brian.
Oh, okay.
Dad. So anyway, it was so then she moved in with us. She stayed with us, and she had her own room in that. And it was so she had to go to work every day, and then sometimes at noon she would come and we would do Spanish lessons at the pool.
Oh, so she did that with you guys.
Oh yeah. For the first while in Buenos Aires, we went down to the headquarters where Dad worked, and we would have an hour Spanish lessons there every day. Yeah, we learned conversational Spanish.
So did you like it better by the pool? Was it easier to concentrate?
Yeah, it was nice. And then she even taught us a Spanish song, which I don't remember, but I think I have it taped somewhere. We learned a Spanish song, and
is it like the ABCs but in Spanish, so you could learn your letters?
Well, it was a cute little song. It was a cute little song, but yeah. So those were really good years. But at the end of the third year, our Dad's work was done, so we decided to come home. Well, it was decided that that was it. So we did come back, and we were here 2 years again, I guess.
Now that was which house was that? Was that the one still on? Because
That was on Southfield.
okay, because Brixton was the original when we first moved here, and then you guys, or no, so Tiverton. And then,
Tiverton was the first house. We moved here, and then we moved to Montreal.
right.
And then we came back in 91, 90, in
90,
1990.
yeah. End of 90, beginning of 91, right? Somewhere
Yeah,
in that
beginning
ballpark.
of 91, we moved back to Tiverton,
In another house.
Across the street.
across the street in the
From where-
forest.
yeah.
And then from there, we went to Argentina, and then we came back, and then we moved on Southfield. And we were there for two and a half years, 2.5 years, I think.
And that's the one with the lake in the back, the man-made lake.
Yes, it was a man-made lake, it was beautiful. I loved that our hot tub overlooked on the lake in the wintertime. It was nice.
There was a
You know.
hot tub.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
bedroom.
I don't even remember that.
it was a two-man hot tub.
Yeah, you had it with like you went up 2
I
steps.
don't know why I called it a two-man hot tub. It's a two.
I know. It's like, who was Dad bringing in there?
Two-person hot tub. Yeah.
Did it, because it was a hot tub and because it was in the bedroom, like was there a lot of humidity in there?
No, not
No?
at all.
Oh, okay.
Well, the bedroom was the whole width of the house, because there was the bedroom, and then there was a huge
Bathroom.
closet, and then you went up 2 steps, and the hot tub was there, and the sink and the shower.
I barely remember that house. Apparently,
You don't remember it?
I barely remember it. I don't remember that hot tub. I don't remember your room.
Well, you came to live here. You came to live with us for
No, I did. I
5 or
remember
6.
that. Yeah, I don't know. That was a blur. I think I was going out a lot back then.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, so I said, then we went from there, we went to Saskatchewan, another trip. We're
Well,
there
back in
for,
Southfields, that's when AOL first came out.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Do they even exist anymore?
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
have mail.
That was Dad. Dad always had an AOL account. I remember.
Yep.
AOL. Oh my God. And so cutting edge.
you remember stuff, Todd, my goodness.
I remember, and the thing I remember with Southfields is my Dan, my old buddy, and we made a movie in that house. I remember that much.
Oh
We had a
yeah.
video camera. We were working on making a film.
Do you still have it? I don't remember seeing
Oh,
that.
I know. Oh, yeah, no, I still have it.
Oh,
Yep.
cool.
Yeah, maybe we need to transfer that, and
Yeah, I still have the
something
one
like
that we made somewhere. I gotta convert that too.
yeah, wait. That's the one we sent to Mom when Mom and Dad were in Argentina.
She's like, oh,
Remember that movie, Mom?
Um,
The film studies film that Todd and I made, and you guys were in Argentina at the time, and you received the film.
Yeah, is that the one where you were
the Weetabix at the beginning? Yeah.
all acting, but I didn't know, and I thought it was real,
Oh, geez.
and I got all upset.
I had the flip glasses and the
Yes.
3/4 inch shirt or 3/4 shirt, like
Oh, my
Navel
goodness.
gazing shirt.
yeah. Back when I was faking bacon, I had hair.
God, I think I wanted to forget about it. I don't remember. It
Got an
so long ago.
to me.
Got an A- on that film.
Oh wow.
Oh, did you?
Oh yeah. Oh, I got an A-, and the teacher, what's his name now? George Taves, I think his name is. He gave me a really glowing review for the film. He said he liked everything about it. And it was like, wow, okay. I'm like, I know it's a good film. My mom thought it was real.
Well, that's the whole point. If they think it's real.
Yeah.
Yes, I would. That was very scary. I did not know. And you know what kind of a worry ward I was.
Yeah. I was just proud that what Todd and I had made. It was like, hey, Todd and I worked on something. I was so excited.
Yeah. You could have told me though it was a movie.
Well, I did. I included a letter, but you guys watched the movie, didn't read the letter.
I think so.
I think that's oh, look, there's a home video.
Well, that's the thing with when there's shows on TV, you have to kind of step back and realize, okay, someone's manning a camera. So this is not like, it's not real life. This is what's happening. There just happens to be a camera somewhere and you just happen to be watching it on TV. It had to be produced, right? Like someone actually had to film it. Like,
I know, but I didn't look at it that way. All I saw was you guys.
You must have thought Todd was an a-hole. Well, he's
Well,
just filming his brother doing all this stupid stuff.
I know. Oh, God.
Your children are pretty square, Mom.
Yeah, I know.
Got nothing to worry about. We're boring.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I don't know. What else can we say about
Well, I guess I did. We went to Saskatchewan. We were there a year, and then we came back here.
right.
As it was supposed to be an interim stop because we were supposed to move to Boca Raton in Florida. And then Dad was able to persuade them that he could work out of here.
Right.
We had an international airport, so he could fly there and to Brazil and
fly anywhere? Yeah.
Places they wanted him to go to. Because he spoke Spanish, he was an asset.
Oh yeah. Didn't even
Right.
put that together. Lots of Spanish speaking people in Florida too.
Yeah.
Like tons.
Yeah. So it was all, yeah. But then when he had to go to Chile and he had to go to Brazil and he had to go to these places.
Wait, so hang on. When he went to those places, was that through that company then?
Yeah,
he went to-
the last
Oh.
company.
Because I think I was in my head, it was all seemed around the same time. I thought he had worked in Argentina and then went to Chile
No,
and then so that was
that was like a big plus for them that Dad spoke Spanish. You
Yeah,
know,
no
that
kidding.
now they could send him to these places and do their bidding and do whatever, you know.
yeah.
So was it a bit of a culture shock going from Brazil to Saskatchewan
Well, it was Argentina actually.
or Argentina? Sorry.
Yeah.
Argentina. Well, yeah, but he was so busy. He was so busy when he went to Saskatchewan because he had to build up the railroad from nothing into what it, you know, into the.
But from your experience,
Yeah,
like from what
right.
you
Yeah,
experienced.
what was it like for you from having a pool
Oh, well.
to living in northern Saskatchewan?
Well, you know what? The people there were so lovely and inviting and warm. And Dad was there a good 6 months before I was able to go. And then we sold our house. We didn't know what we were going to do, if we were going to rent or sell, because we knew we weren't there forever. But they were so welcoming that it was like his second home. They knew he wasn't home because he would only come here every 2 weeks. He only came here every 2 weeks. So he stayed there because he had to work the railroad and he had to hire the people, and that took a lot of his time. And but I mean, for me, it just Argentina was great. I loved it, and I missed the people that were there. But you move on, and you're back home. And I have to say that I missed Canada. I missed speaking my language in my country, because we always had to speak Spanish when people didn't know how to speak English.
Sure.
So it was tiring at times, but fun.
A lot of thinking.
You have to think all the time, because you don't know all the verbs and everything, because you only know conversational Spanish, so you can't pull out a bunch of words and say, you know. But I learned it pretty good, I think. I got a nice compliment from Liliana. She said that I spoke like one of the natives. I came from there, and I said, "Oh, thank you."
I
Did
have
my
to say,
pronoun-
I have
my
to say your
pronunciation-
Spanish was really good. Like I remember, because I was like, wait a minute, Dad's going to work every day in a Spanish speaking environment, and look at Mom, she's like talking like a pro. Like your Spanish was amazing.
Well, I think, you know what, knowing that we had French in our background, that helped.
Yeah, and you
Because
had more French than Dad, so maybe that's
Yeah, there's a lot of similarities in Spanish.
Dad's Spanish was, I would call it a shiak, like we call it our French.
Half English, French. So here it was half English, half.
Well, it was Spanish, but what was so funny when we came home, he would mix up the French and then he would put in Spanish words with it because he totally forgot his French.
And everybody's looking at him going, what?
¿Qué pasa, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 words in French and 4 words in Spanish. And then the person who was French totally was lost. Is that what? What are you saying?
So no different than when Dad spoke French in general, I guess.
No, but and he didn't realize he was doing it until I would say, Brian, you're speaking Spanish. You know, you're not sticking to the French. He said, I totally forgot my French. He went right into Spanish.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And I have to say he had a better memory of Spanish than I did.
He kept it longer.
He kept it longer and he used it. And I remember one time we were in the airport, we were going somewhere and someone was speaking Spanish to, I guess they were trying to buy something in one of the little boutique and, or the kiosk and she couldn't get through to her. So of course, Dad went right over and just took right over and told the girl what she wanted. He knew exactly what she wanted. And she was very grateful. So, I mean, it did come in handy for him.
What's that? Sorry?
It came in handy for him.
Yeah.
You know, he loved helping people that way. So
it's kind of neat how every step led to the next thing that led to the next thing. That's almost like they were, I don't know. It's neat to see the Dad's evolution because I remember being in Shediac and the one thing I remember was Dad was always looking for the next thing and I knew he didn't like his job, but I remember he used to do the mail and he'd take one of us usually. And
I'd usually go. And
yeah,
one time I think I went and Mom didn't know that I had went.
Yeah.
So I think you were a little upset when we got back. I think you had people looking for us or looking for me.
I did. I sent people looking for, because I thought we had a pond, a brook beside our house. And I thought you had, you had fallen in and drowned. And I, my heart was just out of my chest. I couldn't breathe. And then somebody went by, one of the neighbors, and I was all in a panic and they said, well, you know, we'll go look for Brian. I said, he's on his mail route. And then they tracked him down and they came and told me that you were with him. And I had a few choice words for him for not telling me.
I'm sure.
Well, I think that was mostly my fault because if I can pretty much remember because I think he was pulling out of the driveway and I just kind of ran up to the car and then we kind of went. So I didn't really say that I was going anywhere. So
no, you didn't tell me anything.
Mind you, I don't remember how old. I don't think it was that old either. So
my gosh, you were only 3 or 4.
Oh God.
Oh crap.
You weren't very old.
I still remember that. I'd go with him on the mail runs. And there was one place in particular, it was an older guy, and I can't remember what his name was. And he just freaked me out. He just looked creepy. And then he'd come up to the car and how you doing? I'd back up and oh, that's Fred or whatever. I can't remember what his name was, but
it's the same guy that when we first moved in and I was pregnant for you, Sean, and we were just moved in. Dad was on the night shift. And then this guy came knocking at the door at 10 o'clock at night. And
10 o'clock at night.
Yes. And he said, hi. I said, hi. And he said, I'm so-and-so. I don't want to say his name.
Yeah.
And he said, I live up the street. And I didn't know. He said, can I come in for a coffee? And I'm, okay. So we're sitting on the chair. Like I'm sitting so rigid on the chair. And then we're having coffee. And
oh my
then
God.
he said, okay, well, I'm going to go. I just wanted to meet you. And I said, okay, nice to meet you. And then he left and I locked the door and I told Brian, I said, whoever that guy is, I said, you tell him he can't do this. I was like, oh, I was terrified.
We had so many characters back there.
Oh, there was just a couple there that were, but that guy there, I know who you mean. He was kind of freaked me out too.
So now if we regress back to when you guys used to live in Moncton before you even moved to Shediac, you lived in was it duplex or?
Yeah, there was three apartments. There was the cement, and we were in the middle.
Was it like a side by side? Is that what you guys are talking about?
We lived in when Dad and I first got married, and we moved to when we lived in Moncton.
Right.
And then we moved to this I don't know, 3-apartment house on Mill Road, actually.
Like a co-op, or I don't know what they call it. But
No.
is that the one where there's a picture of me with these two other people, and then it was like a snow tunnel?
Yeah.
That was that one? Okay.
Yeah, you were and you guys had made like an igloo or something.
Right.
And you were in there. You remember that?
I remember just bits and pieces of it. That's it.
Yeah.
I don't remember inside the house.
Yeah.
But I remember the snow, and I remember the picture that kind of brought me back, but I couldn't remember a whole lot of it. But
yeah. Oh, gee, you were only like 3 or something.
Yeah, wasn't that old.
Yeah, no. And you were friends with the little kid downstairs. So we only lived there for a year, and then we moved to Shediac.
Right.
Yeah.
I remember as far back as Meme Pepe's. They lived by not that far away from where I guess the doctor was, like our family doctor, and we lived upstairs.
Yeah, we lived on Cameron. They lived there.
And I remember that there was an attic, and there was really steep steps that went up to this attic, and I think that's where they kept, their bottled stuff and whatnot,
Preserves and stuff.
Yeah, like pickles and all that type of stuff. And then I remember. I remember where the living room was. If you walked in facing the road, on the right-hand side was the living room. Then I think there was a balcony. I'm not sure.
Yes, there was a balcony.
And then I remember there was a TV. See, if you sat in the room, the left-hand corner was the TV. Pepe's leather, oh my God, his leather recliner, which I think I ruined. I think I took a pen or something and I was stabbing the arm piece and I poked.
Oh.
I think I remember that, and watching was it Dave and Goliath? I think it was. Davey.
You were his pet, so I don't think he would have been mad at you.
Yeah, but I
what
remember
are you doing there, Todd? Todd, don't poke that thing there, Todd. Don't poke that there.
Didn't you guys have wasn't that a wood stove? Like cooking stove?
In that place?
No.
No?
No.
Okay, maybe I'm thinking of a different place. They had the ringer though, the washer ringer.
Oh yeah, the ringer washer. That was for sure.
What's a ringer washer? Wait, you gotta explain this to me. What's that?
Oh my goodness. Google it.
Okay, I'm Googling right now.
You can Google it. It's just
two rollers.
Yeah, it was rollers, and when you put your clothes through it, you pulled it out on the other end, and you make sure you didn't have your hand going in there.
Oh, so it kind of
brings the water out. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I remember that stuff for some odd reason, but Yeah, I remember watching the Santa Claus parade from there, and I
Yes,
think it
from the
was
balcony.
Wait,
from the
wait. Did
balcony.
it crossed that place?
It went right in front of the street.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Down Cameron Street onto Main Street.
Yeah, they'd have it playing on the TV, and then
It
have it.
was on the bottom, and we
by.
had, yeah. It didn't matter if it snowed or anything. We were nice and cozy. We had our own chairs there and everything.
Wow.
Great.
I wonder if
Wow.
that building still is there.
Hmm?
Do you know if that building is still there? That
I think they tore it down because I think they built apartment buildings.
It'd be pretty cool though if you went back and went, okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember this.
Everything is so small.
Or when you're younger, everything looks huge.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And Dr. Hazel and Dr. Raymond lived next door, and that's where I worked. I worked with him.
Okay.
And I remember going to see him because he had this Buddha or something on his desk with whiskers. It looked like cat whiskers. I remember that. And he used to have a stash of lollipops on a stainless steel shelf.
Were you still seeing that doctor when I was born? Because that
Pardon me?
actually sounds familiar. Were we still
Yes.
seeing that doctor when I
Yeah.
was born?
Yeah, Dr. Hazel.
That sounds
was-
so familiar, like Todd's description there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. In the waiting room, when you
Yeah.
walked in, it was on the left-hand side. And I
Yeah.
remember the barrel full of monkeys. The
Yeah.
barrel of monkeys
Yeah.
and Barbar. Do you remember
Oh.
Barbar?
Yeah.
Elephant.
The elephant. Yeah.
Yeah, they had books like that and had Barbar the elephant in it. Oh yeah, it was great.
Wow.
I know.
That's stretching my memory, but I remember some of that. Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Such a long time ago. Wow.
That's a long, yeah, for sure.
Well, Todd's got a good memory. I don't know what he's doing to.
Well, I mean, I can remember that, but I can't remember what I did yesterday. It's a whole different. But now I'm getting older.
And I have no idea why all those dates stay in my mind, because I guess it's because every 2 years we were moving, you know?
Well, yeah, it was roughly the same increment of time,
Yeah.
2 to 3 years every time.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what
actually, Chidak, we lived there for what, 18, 16 years?
Well, I moved
maybe?
when I was 15. So however long you guys were there before I was born.
We lived in Chidak when John was born.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we moved before I turned 16 years old. The summer before I turned 16 years old.
Yeah. You were 15 when we moved.
Yeah.
Wow.
And we
So-
lived there for 17 and a half years.
Okay, so let's go back. The one thing I couldn't figure out, maybe I'm bad with remembering time, but when you and Dad had that band together, what house were we living in at the time? Was that Southfields?
Yes.
And the band was called Pieces of Eight.
Wait, no. Yeah. we
I
were
think
in
so,
South-
right?
Well, actually, no, actually we were on Tiverton when I first started. Dad and I were with the band then.
When
That
we
was-
first moved here?
No.
The second time we moved here.
In 90.
Oh, in 90. Okay, that's
Yeah.
when the band was.
That was with Duaron and Peltier, or
Yeah. And then we moved to Argentina. And then when we came back, I joined the group again, but Dad didn't, because they already had a bass player. And I said, well, I don't want to be in the band if you don't want to be, if you can't be in the band. He said, no, I want you to go, enjoy it. He says, you know, he would not let me not go. And I did. And I joined the band and did that until we moved again.
I said, I don't remember that iteration of the band. I remember
Yeah,
the first one. I remember Dad being in the band. I don't remember him not being in the
We
band.
left, and I'm not into country that much. So it went from rock and roll to country.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was doing Shania Twain and, you know, stuff like that, which is not really me.
Well, when
Brasher-
you
Brasher was a big proponent, if I recall. Was Dwyer on in the band at the time then?
Oh, yeah, he was always in the band.
Okay.
he played
'Cause he was
keyboards
kind
and
of-
bass on it.
He was kind of the leader of the whole thing. And all the practices were at his place.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now back
Well,
home,
Spoke the neighbors a few times.
so back home when you were playing with Junior and I can't remember the
Frank.
other person.
Frank.
Frank, yeah, when you guys were playing at the Cave A Pape and that I think was it licensed? I think, or was that a restaurant or was that a bar? That was it in the basement.
It was, we were in, and the Cave A Pape was downstairs from the restaurant.
Okay, because I remember watching you guys there, but I don't think I was probably only like 16 maybe.
That would have been the restaurant, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
I think it was both, wasn't it? It was a licensed restaurant slash. It was like a bar that served food, I think, wasn't it, or
Yeah,
something like that?
We did the restaurant. We did the restaurant, like we did Sundays, like, and brunch, whatever. And so we did the restaurant part. It was all just easy listening music is what we did. And a lot of folk music. And then we did the bar downstairs also.
Yeah, in the basement. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was yeah, it was a bar.
How did you I used to have that Cave Pup t-shirt. Did you get that? Did they give it to you? To give?
I have no recollection of that.
I used to wear that to the bar. Go to the bar where in Winnipeg and wear my Cave Pup t-shirt. It was a
really?
3/4 length on the arms and it was red and gray. It was looked horrible. I thought
What's
it was cool.
What's a Cave A Pape?
Yeah, what's a Cave A Pape?
Oh my goodness.
Like I could see it.
Yeah, I
Pape.
could see that, somebody trying to say that. Who's
Now
not-
back home, we spent a lot of time at Paul and Carol's
Yes.
because Dad used to work. Was it working midnights?
Yeah.
So I mean, I've got a lot of memories of going there. I mean, Sam used to get me in trouble all the time.
Right,
But I-
Sam?
But I remember at night, we'd go to bed and sleep until Dad was off, and then you guys would,
Yeah.
wake me up, and then
Oh.
we'd all load up in the car and then drive on the 4-lane highway all the way home
Yeah.
in the satellite.
Hmm.
Wait, were we sleeping at Paul and Carol's?
No, I don't know. We never slept there.
No, not overnight.
Okay.
This was like say 9 or 10 o'clock or whatever time we'd normally go down to sleep, and Dad wasn't off till midnight, so he'd show up after that.
Oh, he
Yeah, he
worked
was-
until
he
midnight.
Pick us up.
Okay, got it.
And he'd pick us up.
Yeah, and they had a pool, and I remember when they built the pool because they were talking about it, and then we would go over and we helped actually dig out the whole wheelbarrow. This was all done there was no machinery that came and did it.
Really?
If there was, I don't recall that. All I recall is going, and of course you're young, right? And you're not as strong as the adults, but yeah, you're working your butt off trying to get wheel the dirt away and stuff. And then they had all that put together, and God, we spent a lot of time over there and in the pool.
And that's where you learned how to swim, both you and Sean.
Yep.
Yeah, well, I remember having the mask on with the snorkel.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you go to the shallow end and you kind of practice here for a bit. And then
Yeah.
you say, okay, well, I can kind of float. I'm okay. And then you kind of wander off to the deep end, but kind of stay to the side just in case.
Mhm.
And that's how you kind of learned. And then you just kind of went from there.
Hmm.
But
Well, you
yeah,
learned in spite of your mother, because they always kept me busy
Yeah.
with my back turned to you so that I couldn't see what you were doing.
Hey,
And
Todd.
Kept me talking.
Paul's
Todd, how
favorite
did-
word, what was
Go
that?
ahead.
Paul's favorite word was, all right, you're having fun, get out of the pool.
Yep.
Yeah. And they had the sign that says, I don't swim in your toilet, so don't pee in my pool.
That's
Yeah,
really,
I remember that.
Yeah.
Do you remember how did you learn how to swim, Todd? Did Dad teach you, or how did that work?
No, that's pretty much where I learned. I mean, we lived by Parley Beach. So, I mean, we went to the beach all the time, but it was more playing in the water. It wasn't so much swimming without
Yeah.
touching the bottom.
No.
And with the jellyfish and the crabs and, that type of thing. It wasn't ideal because you kept wondering, like, what is that? What is that type of thing?
Yeah.
But when you're in the pool, you can see the bottom, where you're at. And that's pretty much where I learned how to swim. And I know Mom learned how to swim there with the fins on.
The fins and
Oh, yeah.
trailing the edge.
Yeah.
of the pool.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh, my.
That blue bathing suit. I remember.
The what?
The blue bathing suit.
I had a blue bathing suit?
Yep.
Was it blue fins? I remember.
I think blue fins too. Yeah.
Gosh.
You know how Dad taught me how to swim. He threw me in the deep end. He said, "Swim."
Swim.
I can't remember if you were there or not, Mom. But I remember Dad getting a tongue lashing from you.
No, because he would have. Oh no. No. I wouldn't have been there.
Flap your arms around a little bit. You'll float.
Yeah.
Guess he figured I was pudgy. I'd just float all that natural body fat.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Aunts and uncles would be there and cousins. And I remember like all my uncles, like you had Junior, you had Ronnie, you had, I think, Peter, everybody was like, and Peter was smoking. Okay. I think probably still does, but he had a smoke in his mouth. And I think Mike too was there, and they all dove in at the same time.
Yeah.
One
Isn't there a
forgot
picture of that?
One forgot his wallet and a pack of smokes in his pocket. The other one still had a smoke in his mouth when he came up out of the water. Mind you, this is after, some partying a little bit. So
Mom, I get a question. All your
Huh?
brothers, like
Yes.
our uncles, do
Yes.
any of them own any shirts?
I know they love to walk around without their shirt, and they were so tanned.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
and
They
they
did
all
not-
looked like they were like 6 months pregnant.
They all look
Yeah.
like they all look like Randy from Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, they all had a little pot. Oh
Yeah.
gosh.
And then
Yeah.
Peter at Pete's camp, that was a really good time out there too, because Troy and Mark, they had their their mini bikes and quads and all the toys, and we'd take off, and they had the creek and the brook, and we go and we'd swim in there. And I think people would actually go there to wash. They'd take the thing of soap and they just jump in the creek and just wash and just let the current take the soap away, type of thing.
Or as Pepeo would say, they'd wash.
They'd wash.
Yeah.
Make sure you wash that out good.
Yes, it was wash. He never said wash.
Todd, do you get a Peter impression? Uncle
Peter impression.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh no, I've never really thought of doing one. No, I don't know. I can't-
The listener can't see this, but this was his look all the time. Eileen,
That big smile on his face.
Eileen. He was like, you should
You know,
put some sunglasses on if you're squinting that much.
it was a dark tan too. Like
Yeah.
Ronnie, Peter,
Jeez.
Junior, they all and Ronnie, like just they look like they just come out of Brazil or something. Like they're just
Yeah.
dark
Well,
skin. But that's the French side, right?
Yes, it is the French side, and only the boys tanned like that. We never tanned that way. Carole did.
Oh,
She
yeah,
always
Carole
did.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and the male too.
Mimea, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're from that French side. They really tan easy, and
Right.
all the boys had black, pitch black hair.
I always thought there might have been some
Brown hair.
not Métis, but
Hmm?
something down our bloodline at some point. Not
We're
but
French.
what's the
We're French. There's no. I thought there was Spanish in there, or
maybe Spanish.
Spanish Moors, but no. My cousin did the
Genealogy?
yes, thank you, on us, and on her too, of course. It's on that side, or the same side. Her dad is my mom's brother. So she said that we were pure French, out of France.
No, that's from Emil's side, right?
That's
Like
from
your
Emil.
mom's. Yeah.
Yeah. My
No, but-
grandfather, I thought sure he was Spanish because he had that look about him. And I think that's where the boys took after him
Yeah.
with their dark complexion and the black hair.
And Pape Gould was what nationality was that side?
There's Irish and German on
Oh.
Pipis.
Irish and German? I didn't
Yeah.
know the German.
So more Irish, more German, more like just
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think probably just now that you say that, I don't know. I think it's probably half and half. Because his mom was German. But I never knew her. She died when my father was 12.
Oh, okay.
So the grandmother I knew was his stepmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but she was German, and then I think his dad was Irish. So, you like a hat, arf and arf,
half and half.
arf and arf. That's what he used to say.
What was with those R's with him anyway? Now that you bring that up, I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I used to do that all the time.
What's that?
The warsh and harf and
Well, arf and arf is something we used to say all the time, just
okay.
for half and half. But yeah, no, my dad, he would say warsh. Like, your mother did a wash today. That's what he would say. He wouldn't say wash.
I wonder where that came from. That must be like a dialect thing or something.
Yeah, it had to be, yeah.
Yeah,
Probably from his father's side. I don't know.
I can remember. Todd, what are you doing? Why don't you take the Windex there and go wash out the windows of my car?
Oh, yes, he was very good at
My
giving
God,
orders, you know.
I'd be in there for an hour.
I know.
trying to the smoke was so thick.
Oh my God.
One swipe and it was so orange from the nicotine.
Oh,
my
God. Yeah.
But he was pretty much a chain smoker. He used to smoke those Vincent Viscount 100s.
Oh my God, you remember that?
I remember that because I tried one time. Mom probably doesn't know any of this. And he'd leave them everywhere. They'd be in the basement, they'd be upstairs, you'd have,
Well, what if
type of
you
thing.
want? Oh, uh-oh. Look at this.
Oh,
Oh,
is that a picture?
I don't know if you can see. Oh, can you see?
Oh,
Oh, isn't that a good picture?
very nice picture.
That's very nice.
They like it. Hang on, she has to say hi. This is her third appearance now? Watch your toes. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I gotta go put the kids to bed.
Okay.
It's that time. Todd, you got
Okay.
anything else you want to ask?
No. What about you? Yeah, Todd, you want to?
No, I think we covered quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
more than I thought.
yeah.
That was fun though.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good to reminisce, go down memory lane.
Mhm.
Yeah. There's lots of other stuff we can talk about, like the X-Lax incident and whatnot, but we can say that for the 400th episode.
I mean, the chocolates that were in Pepe's drawer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jude.
Yeah.
Jude. Yeah.
Jude's drawer.
Yeah.
All right. Mom,
Okay.
do you get anything to plug?
No.
Yeah,
Can we follow you on Twitter?
Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. No.
Do I what?
Find you on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook.
You got a new album or a new movie you're promoting?
No. Those days are gone.
All right. Well, that was fun. And maybe we'll do it. Well, I think we should do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was fun.
All right then.
All right.
I'll see you next year.
Yeah, probably the way it's going now.
I know.
Yeah,
All
we'll have a Zoom Christmas this year.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we'll do Zoom Christmas. Yeah.
You
Zoom
know,
works good.
that song, we'll have Blue Christmas. It'll be a Zoom
Zoom?
Christmas
I'll have a Zoom. There you
without
go.
you.
Zoom.
Somebody can sing. Somebody can make up a song about it.
We could. Yep.
Have a Zoom Christmas without you.
Or with you.
Or with you.
Yeah.
Or with you.
I'll have a Zoom with you.
All right.
You can't have any cheesecake.
No.
All
I'll
right.
be eating my Cornish hens by myself. Okay.
All righty.
I'm gonna hit end. Bye.
Okay. Talk to you later. Okay.
Bye.
Love you guys.
Bye. Love you.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.